What it do, YouTube? It's your motherfucking boy. You feel me? We out here with another one. I know that intro was kind of soft, but like I said, that's another topic for another day. Gotta get this shit like a little pay way. Gotta get it like a AK. Shoot them shots. 47 coming every day. Let me stop. Yo. So look, we got a reaction coming for y'all today. I already know how that shit going. But today.
2 hours later.
Today. They gotta do all this extra dramatic shit.
During Christmas break, my friends Chris, Presto, Robert, Luke, Chase, Jamie, and Kevin were tired of just only watching football all night and decided that one day we would ding dong ditch. Towards the end of our break, we all gathered at a pizza place and started going around town trying to find a perfect house. After we found a house, my friend Chris rang the doorbell like 5 times and we all ran away laughing. Then we did this for a second time and we all ran away laughing again. When we went back for a third time, my friend Chris again went to ring the bell and he rang it again at least 5 times and we all ran away. After this time, we thought that the people in the house were just not giving in to our prank and we started to walk back to my friend Presto's house. While all of a sudden, I looked back and saw this man charging full speed at us. I told everyone to start running and I saw the panic in all my friends' eyes. Presto slipped while we were running but was fast enough to catch back up with us. We then took shelter in Presto's backyard. And we saw the man wandering around the block looking for us until he gave up. We were all scared and decided to just go home, but we wanted to do the same house again the next day.
Stupid.
When the next day arrived,
kids,
I told my friends that this time I would ring the bell because I haven't in a while. When I got up and rang the bell and we all started to run away, we all saw the man again chasing us. After we kept running and couldn't see him, we noticed that the man was now in his car speeding after us.
It's the fact.
This is when we started to split up.
That the nigga come out the house looking for y'all and y'all go back the next day. Are y'all stupid?
While Luke, Jamie, and Presto ran down another. After Chase and Robert found a place to hide, Kevin and I were still running away from the man. We hid under some trees for 10 seconds, thinking we lost the man, until the man started to run over people's properties and curbs still after us. This is when Kevin started to run away and I followed him.
Get some doonies.
Because Kevin had a head start, he was able to escape, and the man saw me and nearly hit me with his car while blocking my way. While the man stopped his car in front of me, I quickly took out my phone and recorded this video.
Get over here. Where were you going? Sir, I swear to God, I didn't do anything. Where were you going? Sir, I swear to God, I didn't do anything. Sir.
Here you can see the man's reaction, asking me where I was going and telling me to get in his car as he was holding my head and arm but let go of my arm to open the door. While he was doing this, I took my hand and pushed his hand off my head, which gave me enough room to escape. While I was sprinting down the road, I remember seeing the man going right back into his car about to chase me again. But since I had a head start on the man, I decided to hide in a bush as I saw him speed down the block trying to find me again. Right after this, I told my friends to all run back to my house and that the man was roaming around the block trying to look for all of us. When my friends came back to my house, I instantly showed them the video and they were truly scared. To this day, I have never been as scared for my life as I was that night.
Why would y'all go back the second time? That was so retarded. That was not smart at all. Y'all was asking for that. I won't lie. They were really asking for that. Folks said he had his ass by the head. Come on, bro. These unskippable ass, man. Come on now. Y'all be trying to get paid a little bit too much.
Most kids who play Ding Dong Ditch are, I'd say, between the ages of 10 and 14. My friends and I, however, I guess matured a little later. We were 16, juniors in high school. We live in, I guess, what most would call the typical middle-class suburbs. Most of the houses are basic and look more or less the same. There is one house that a lot of people know about a few blocks away from me. It has an architectural style much different and more archaic looking than the rest. It had a for sale sign out front for the longest time.
That bitch,
I guess around a year after the for sale sign
E-home.
disappeared was when
You
the
know,
story
that
took
be-
place. We
The
weren't
fuck
sure
is
if
that
someone had
E-home?
moved in or not.
Them homes
The
that be,
grass never seemed to be cut.
built from the
On
ground.
an
and shit.
uneventful
Motherfuckers be
weekend
scaling out
night,
they
two
self
friends
type
and I
shit.
wanted to play Ding Dong Ditch on the house. The reason we wanted to target this house was simply because it was different, and we wondered if the person potentially living in it would be different as well, aka a better reaction. When we did this, we always had each person ring the bell at least once. My friend Joel went first. He tried ringing the bell, then said back to us the doorbell didn't seem to work, so we made knocking motions. He knocked on the door really hard, then he ran for the bush next to the front door. We waited for a minute, but no answer. Joel came running back. It was my turn to go. I ran up to the front door, and instead of giving a loud knock, I banged really hard on the door. As I banged, the door pushed open just a tad, giving me a near heart attack and causing me to Olympic sprint behind the bushes in the front of the house. I crouched down in the bushes alongside Joel and Eric, expecting someone to come outside, but the door just stayed in place, open just 1 or 2 inches. I guess I banged so hard the door pushed off the latch and caused it to creep open. At this point, we were wondering if anyone was even home, let alone if someone even lived here, considering there
Me
were no
too,
cars in the
bro.
driveway
Just
or
hearing
parked
that
down
shit,
the
I can see
street.
this shit like this dumbass
We
nigga
came
go
up with a
bang
really
us, though, that
stupid
bitch
idea of
open.
going inside the house.
I watch
since
how
it
these
didn't
dumbass
appear anyone
kids
was
go in
inside.
there.
I was the one to kind of lead the way inside, pushing the door open quietly and creeping into the living room. There wasn't any furniture in the living room besides a couple wooden chairs and an old-fashioned center
You see,
table,
he
or
ain't-
coffee table, I guess you'd call
Never
it,
mind.
sitting in the middle of the room. Moonlight mixed with the
mind.
light from the streetlights outside shone through the windows, so we could see enough if you're wondering how we saw without flashlights. We crept into the kitchen, and this was where it got gross. There was a foul odor in there, and when we opened the fridge, we realized where it was coming from. There was a bunch of old, expired, rotting things in there. The putrid smell was like a mix of long-spoiled milk and rotting meats. The fridge wasn't turned on, obviously. In our heads, this confirms nobody could be living here, so we became a little less unnerved by the idea of someone possibly being in there as well. So with that, we decided we'd look upstairs. We were a lot less quiet now going up the
Ain't finna
stairs.
find her.
There were a bunch of rooms upstairs.
Nigga
The house
small.
wasn't exactly tiny. All the doors were closed, so opening them was a little creepy, honestly. The three of us split off into different rooms, just seeing if anything interesting would be inside. I left from one bedroom to another one, which already had the door open, so either Eric or Joel already went inside. It was another basically empty room. It had some old nightstand in the corner, and I could see marks on the floor from where a bed used to be. Then I heard a creaking sound in the room. The room was decently sized, but I didn't see either of them inside of here. However, I did see this huge black hole in the wall opposite me. I walked closer to it. It was literally this huge hole leading into the insides of the walls. It was pitch black in there. I couldn't see anything beyond the hole.
You finna
And
go
as I
into the
got
hole.
closer, I heard breathing. I already knew it was one of them waiting to scare me. I said both their names though, and they both called back "what" from different rooms. I don't have to explain what that meant, and what was going on in my head. While most people probably would have ran, I took a few steps closer to the hole out of my stupid curiosity. My two friends entered the room behind me, I guess giving me a little more confidence to step closer. I was maybe 4 feet from the hole, and I thought I saw something in there. Something moving. My two friends were whispering, "What do you see?" I was dumb enough to get closer. I was probably 2 feet from the hole in the wall now, when someone's arm reached out from the darkness and started yanking on the collar of my shirt. My friends came to help, and in Joel's words, he clawed at the
snatched his
wrinkly, pearl-looking
ass.
arm until it let go. Then we bolted downstairs and out the front door.
Hell
Contemplated
nah.
calling the cops, but with the chance of someone actually living in there, we didn't want to basically admit to breaking and entering. We agreed to just not tell our parents or anyone about it that might get us in trouble.
I mean, shit, y'all asked for that. Folks tried to snatch him some doonies,
So here's the
bro.
problem.
They making
48%
sure
of
they
Americans
tapping motherfuckers
aren't
with these
invested in
ass,
the
bro. I
stock
ain't gonna cap.
And 57%
Skip.
At a certain hour in the night, you enter a certain mental state in which you're not expecting to be disturbed by the outside world. Like, for example, hearing the doorbell or your phone ringing at 3 a.m. is something that would send shivers down most people's spines. So I guess I'll start by saying this was in July of 2020. I don't run the AC much. I tend to leave the windows open with the fan on full blast by my bed. It was very late in the night. I'd been in bed for hours, that's all you need to know. I remember waking up, but not knowing why.
That's all I need.
I thought I heard some kind of dinging sound, but I couldn't tell for sure. I turned off the fan for a minute, listened, but it didn't happen again. So I turned the fan back on and lay back down. But a few moments later I heard it again. I turned the fan off quickly this time, and then I realized it was the doorbell I was hearing. I looked at the clock and started to feel incredibly uncomfortable. Who could be ringing my bell in the middle of the night? I grabbed one of my baseball bats from the closet and made my way downstairs. I did so
Folks
quietly
that got his ass
so that I
early
could
about
sneak
the
to the
neck
window
got
and
it.
peek outside.
Come
There
snatch him
wasn't
up.
anyone on the front deck. Naturally, having to defend my property, I opened the front door and stepped out onto the deck. No one in sight. Some stupid kids ding-dong ditching. What else? Though all that was going through my head was that any kids doing that at this hour were real sons of bitches. I closed the door, but I sat in the living room expecting it to happen again. I gave it a few minutes, and as I was halfway up the stairs, I went as fast as I could down the stairs and back to the front door. I didn't catch them in time, though. I wasn't about to deal with this. I got 911 on the phone and told them some little shits were ding-dong ditching my house at this insane
There
hour.
wasn't no little kids, bro.
The operator wasn't really helpful, though. He said it's very likely just some stupid kids and to just stop answering the door and they'll eventually give up. When I asked, he said to call back if they really don't give up, or if they go beyond ringing the doorbell. I didn't like hearing that, though. It made me a little uneasy. I went back upstairs to my room and turned on the fan full blast to block out the sound of the
Glass
doorbell.
window get smacked.
I heard it again over the sound of the fan, but I didn't entertain it. I just really hoped it was actually some dumb kids. When it finally seemed like they had given up, some loud sound made me jump in my bed. At first I didn't know what it was, but I looked at my window and saw that it was getting soaked. It took me a second to understand someone was spraying my window with the hose. It stopped after a few seconds. I didn't even want to move out of the bed in fear that they would hear that, even as much as I wanted to go for the phone. And there was a voice, not of a child's. It was a deeper voice. Though I can't say exactly how deep, because there was someone calling up, "Hey, come outside to your shed." I wanted to be anywhere but in my house at that moment. I got up and looked out the wet window, but there was no one down there. I went for the phone and called the cops again. The same operator picked up. After telling him what just happened, he told me to sit tight and wait for an officer to arrive at my house. Then we hung up. I had a little more peace of mind now, but still, I went downstairs to the den area of my house, which is the lowest level of my house, ground level to the backyard. The
So
back
you
door is
getting
in the
closer
den,
to this.
as is the back entrance to the garage. When I looked out the window to the shed in the backyard, I could see one of the two doors to the shed was swung completely open. I couldn't see into the shed, and no way was I going out there. But while expecting someone to poke their head out from the shed, I heard a light creak and noticed in the corner of my eye the back door to the garage opening. It opened in a manner that I knew it was pushed. It wasn't the wind. Looking into the dark abyss that was my garage, someone went, "Psst," to break the silence. They were inside my house. I went for the front door and waited outside in front of my house. My garage door was open. My idiot self didn't lock it, and I must have not heard it opening over the sound of the fan. A police car pulled up in front of my house moments later, and he had me wait with him while he called for backup when he realized this was a break-in case. When two other officers eventually came to help look around the house, I stayed outside with one while the other two checked the house and backyard shed. When they said it was safe to come in, I did a little searching myself before they did a police report and left. Of course, from this point on, I always make sure to remember to lock everything. This was extra terrifying for me, because it started as what I hoped was just a couple kids pulling a prank, and it turned into someone literally breaking into my house.
Okay, I get that. I wanted to see like real like footage of motherfuckers like, you know, doing it and them motherfuckers coming out the house. Hey, get your nigga. Oh. That's the end of the video. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. I'm out this hole. Let me hit y'all for the next one. We gone.